This is the CS100 live stream for Python. The exam is for tomorrow, and I am listening to myself, and that's really annoying. We'll be starting about 5 minutes, so please bear with us, or me, rather, just me. If you have any questions, you could post them in the Twitch chat, and I'll try to reply to you, but we won't get started until around 6:30, so there's that. Hang on tight. Well, that's awfully embarrassing. Let me do that. Hi guys, welcome to the stream. Where is my monitoring headphones? Because I want to kind of know how I sound right now. I did not check to see if that countdown was going to, like, collide into each other. Anyway, hi guys, welcome to this live stream for CS100. If you are viewing this on Twitch, then your chat bar should theoretically be on that side. You can post questions or comments or concerns, criticisms, or answers when I request that you post answers over there. And that is that. Anything else I want to go over? Disclaimer, this stream is not sponsored in any way by NGIT. I am not being paid to do this live stream. It is something I do from the bottom of my heart to help you do well on the exam. If you do want to support me and whatever, down there is a link to my YouTube channel. If you want to hit a subscribe button, that helps me out a lot. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Anything else? If you are in CS100 in my class, or pretty much any other CS100 class right now in NGIT, there on your Moodle page, they should have posted the, what's it called? Room assignment list, so you can go to the correct room or go to a room at all, because I don't think there is rooms on anywhere else but that link. So they are big rooms, and it'll be split up by last name. So you will not necessarily be with your class. You might be with your classmates, but you won't be in your class. You may or may not see me. I am proctoring one of the rooms, so yeah, you get to do better in the exam due to my enthusiasm, because my enthusiasm's quite okay. So yeah. Anyway, this stream is being recorded. I probably will upload it to my website, my real website, because NGIT blocks all audio and video. So please keep that in mind. Also, my email address is, I'll just post right over here, for NGIT. If you want this stream to count as your office hours for this week, you can email me your name. So yeah, email me your name and section to that email address. It should be there, I guess, somewhere there. Email me and name section saying you watched the stream, and you may have your office hours for this week. You just have to hear back from me, and if I email you back, then it was counted for this week. Okay, I think it sounds pretty good. If you were not in my class, then you may have not seen the link that I posted before. But I will post the link now so you can see it. And quite frankly, if you didn't know this website, then I don't know how you're watching the stream anyway. I'll be posting it in the Twitch chat. I actually can't reach it myself due to how my computer is working. But you can go to the stream or the website link over there. If you go over there, you will find something similar to this. Let me open it right now. Get it open for you guys. And over here, I don't know, some people are saying you couldn't access it. I hate Chrome sometimes. Over here are 5 practice links to the practice exams that have been over the past couple years. The first 1 and 4, I think, are the ones from like fall 2012 and 2013, which there's some syntax we kind of deprecated. We kind of did better versions of it. So also, if you see while loop, we aren't going over that. I have actually seen the exam. It was sent. It was circulated to all the CAs earlier today, so I know exactly what's on the exam. I'm not going to tell you exactly what's on the exam, but I'll tell you exactly what's not on the exam, and that will hopefully help you do well on this exam. Also, I'm feeling a bit under the weather, so if my voice disappears, because every time I do this, my voice disappears, and quite frankly, right now I don't have a voice to disappear, so. Excuse me if I do leave the stream to get a drink of water or whatnot. Today we're gonna go, let's see which ones we have over here. I'm gonna open every single one. I know 1 is very old, so I don't want to go over 1. If you went over 1, then I do apologize. Which one was this? This is droplets? This is parallel lines. Okay, we're gonna do this one. I don't remember which exam this was. I think this was like in the previous 2 semesters, something like that. Anyway, we're going to go over this exam, we're going to type everything in, we're going to go through how you should be doing this, and that will be that. What is chapter 4 exactly? Do I have a... Oh, wow, I still have my book open from like when I was grading homework like last week. If you hear any weird, unusual noises, that is because I am using the Japanese Windows 7 theme, which, go figure, sounds like anime voices. So I do apologize for that. Well, I don't really apologize for anything. Let me go log on to my CS100 book. If you don't have the book, I don't know. I think you're doing something wrong because, quite frankly, everything is like there and your homework is there, and I don't know how you're doing the homework without it. And I'm just stalling right now. Shoot, what the heck? Yeah. Chapter 4. Can someone enlighten me to what Chapter 4 is while I try to take 10 hours to get to it? Chapter 4 is not on the exam. Chapter 4 is text data file IO. That'll be on the next exam. I think it was supposed to be on this exam, but it's not going to be. Alright, so we're going to start with question 1 over here. We're going to take some polls, so if you feel like it, you can tell me your answer for question 1. There is a delay on Twitch, so I do apologize. Well, I don't apologize. It's going to be a while, and sometimes I'll answer it before everyone answered, so just keep to yourself and answer it when I say so. So, question 1. You have this kind of statement loop and going on over here. How the program or how the multiple choice works is there will be a sequence of lines, and you will have to tell me the output, or tell, well, A through E, or A through D is the output, the theoretical output, and yeah, that's not going to be in the exam. So any file IO is not in the exam. So anything I had to open a file or close a file, .txts, whatever, is not on the exam. As I was saying again, how the multiple choice works is there'll be lines of code. You answer what you think gets printed out, and yeah, E is always none of the above. That will always be the case. Dr. Cohen is kind of funny in that sometimes he has post-exams where there was like no A's or no B's or no whatevers. So if you think you're going mad because you're missing a letter, there is a nice chance he might have done that. I know some guy who went paranoid and then scribbled out like erased all the right answers and put the ones he missed, and yeah, he did really bad. So that is that. Yeah. Anything that includes file IO probably means we didn't get that many snow days, and we've had a lot of snow days in the past couple of years. So that one is probably really early in my days. Anyway, question 1. Post A through E, depending on what you think. And I'll give you approximately a couple minutes to do that. I'll be back here maybe in 6:42, although for you guys, it'll be a little bit later. Okay, maybe I'll just give you guys like 1 or 2 minutes to do these. Most of the the earlier ones are really easy to complete. So normally how we would do this, or I would make you do this, is to you're gonna be the first CS100 group who's going to get a bit of grid paper or column or tables to write your line numbers and to fill in what each variable is. Where did my Epic pen thing go? That's annoying. So what that means is they want you to trace your code essentially, and if you don't trace your code, then you're not taking advantage of like the fun resources we give you to help you succeed. So the way you're supposed to do it is, I'm not going to do it all the way, but you're supposed to write your line numbers. Yeah, OCD. Then make your table and tell me what your line numbers is. So this will be line. And as you go through one, if you see a variable, you're supposed to write down the thing. So I know that bool expressions, I'll call it BE, and we'll just call it created. There, and then true count. This is line 1, by the way. So on line 2, you have your true count, which is set to 0. I'm experiencing a lot of lag, that's why I see all these like weird jagged lines. I realized that you don't see anything that I'm drawing on here. That is hilarious, actually. Anyway, or actually you do. Never mind, I lied. True count, and then line 3 is a for loop. You're gonna see everyone subscribing. It's gonna be funny. Did I just write 3? And so on and so forth. So you're going to have a for loop, you're going to have xper, wow, more Chrome's crashed. Xper true count plus 1, so this is line 3. Xper on the first one is 3 greater than 2, that is true. 4 goes through, you go to 5, true count plus 1. So you're supposed to go through it. The pattern is that you're supposed to know how many trues are in here. So let me just delete all that. So 3 greater than 2 is true. 0 is equal to 0 is true. True is true. False is false. True or false is true. And not false is true. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The answer is indeed D. So congratulations, all you who got D. You got the answers correct. If you don't trace your code, you're not penalized as long as you, yeah. You're not going to be penalized if you don't trace your code. It helps you guarantee that you get the correct answer. Okay, it does show what I draw. It's just heavily delayed. Yeah, usually I use Google Hangouts for this, and it usually works a bit better. But the latency problems is there. The answer is D. Why is there a huge delay? Okay, I'm going to avoid drawing from now on. I'm just going to scroll through the thing. Question 2. I'll give you guys about a minute or two to answer this one. This one's fairly easy. Oh yeah, by the way, question 1 is definitely in some incarnation is on the exam, not necessarily maybe the for loop. It is counting how many true statements there are. So keep that in mind. Alright, so I'll give you a bit of time to do this one. This is fairly simple. So line 1, you have a list containing 2 numbers and 2 strings. First 2 are numbers, the last 2 are strings. Actually, the first 2 are integers if you want to be exact. And sum is a variable that's being defined. It's going to equal the first element plus the last element. The first element's a number, and the last element is a string. You cannot add them, contrary to what you can do in other languages. So the answer is indeed D. You cannot, it does not support the operand plus for an integer and a string. Therefore, the answer is also D. So let me post that as well. While you guys go on to question 3. Slicing is indeed on the exam, so if you don't know what a slice is, you may want to put that on your pool of questions that you want to ask me later, and we'll go over it then. Yeah, if you email me regarding office hours, and I will, and if I do add you, or I do add you to the list, I will respond back, and I'll also give a link to the archive for this stream. So, have no fear. So, question 2 is D. I'm just shutting off my... A couple things to know. With slicing, remember the first parameter is the beginning and the second parameter is the end. The end is always exclusive unless it's empty, in which it goes the end plus 1. That mic is on, right? Yes, it is. Also, when you take a slice of something, so if you take a slice of a string, the result is a string. If you take a slice of a list, the slice is indeed of type list. So, immediately when looking at slice problems, you're printing out a slice, make sure that the type of the slice that you're looking at is of that type. So if I only had this, pretend A didn't have the list brackets, you can immediately slash it out and do that. It's always better to take out answers you know aren't going to work. It improves your chances of getting that question indeed correct. So nested is a list containing a list and a string and an int. Nested 0 or empty 1 means beginning to 1, one exclusive, so we do remove this one. Therefore, it's just a list containing this, which is also a list. Therefore, it's B. It's a double bracket with a string containing 0. That is a 0, by the way. If you have any questions about the font that's being used, I know that 1, this is a 1, looks like L half the time. And yeah, if you have any questions about that, I'll try to clarify if you're in my room. I try to clarify as many questions as possible. And I also try to be as enthusiastic as possible. If you have any questions and I can answer it, then I will answer it. If you tell me what the meaning of life is, I will answer it. I can't tell you if it's a correct answer or not. But I will indeed answer it. So question 3 is indeed B. Congratulations to all you who got B. If you didn't get B, you should go back and figure out why you didn't get B. Alright. Question 4. Also, if I did mention the office hours thing, if you send me an email at jat37@njit.edu with your name and your section number, then I will be able to reply to you and add you to the office hours for this week. I consider Sunday the beginning of the week, so that is the week of 2:15 to 2:21. So, hopefully I'll add you, and it'll be cool. So now on to question 4. All right. A lot of people are answering A, so let's see if A is correct. Um, if you're doing these practice exams and you aren't sure if a certain operation is there, then always try to check it. Oh my gosh, I have Python 2.7 installed. That was not intended. Let's see, can I get idle of the current version? Wow, I don't have the current version of Python. I should really probably install that. Anyway, the answer should be A. I can't verify that at the current moment. It should be A. If it isn't A, I'll go back and tell you guys. You can't subtract lists, contrary to popular belief. Well, I believe you can't subtract lists. Maybe you can in like another like alternate reality of Python, I guess. But theoretically, you're not supposed to be able to subtract lists. So you always go one. It's okay. You got a list containing like 4 types of things, and then occasions are the last 2, and then you subtract from there. Oh, wow. There's a new version of Python that got released a couple days ago. Look at that. Really cool. Anyway. Oh, that's the alpha. I probably should install that. Alright, let's go down to 5. I don't know if you have a turtle on the multiple choice, but you should be prepared for it anyway, because it has happened before. Turtle is important. Turtle is important for the first exam. Maybe not so much the second exam. We may or may not have a turtle in the second exam. But yeah. You're going to see the screen might black out for the administrator thing. So I apologize for that in advance. Yes, someone said, can you add lists? Yes, you can add lists. You cannot subtract lists. However. Where did that screen go? Where's the screen to install Python? It disappeared on me. Epic. Very nice. Oh, this is unfortunate. I can't bring up the screen to install. There we go. Now it's going to open like 31 of these things.
People?
Maybe if I turn on the microphone while talking would help a lot. So you know how to use turtle, yeah. You know how to use turtle, so import turtle s equals turtle.screen. Creates the screen which the turtle is on. Technically that line is optional. If you create a turtle without creating the screen, then that turtle becomes a screen as well. For I in range 6, so it's a loop that will iterate over 6 times. And 6 times we will do forward 100, then left 120, right? Left. Yeah. Oh, okay. So my formula was correct when I did this in class. I just did the wrong direction. I meant to go left instead of right. So, I did get that right. Anyway, what it's going to do is I should draw this, because that would be more helpful. I should theoretically run this, but Python's not installed. So what's going to do is it's going to go forward 100, then it's going to go turn 120, so it's going to do this, and then it's going to go do this again, and then what it's going to do is going to repeat itself. So it does just create a triangle, it doesn't go over itself. So, yeah. The answer is A. So if you got A, congrats. This one you may need to do a bit more work on because it's a loop and it's a function. You know how functions work. I'll go over how functions work in just a moment. It's actually a funny story. I have that lower third down here, and I was using it for branding reasons, but I can also argue I'm using it for a logical reason that it blocks out all the names of people who are emailing me because my emails do pop up in the bottom right hand corner. Yeah, fun fact of the day. Also, if you see me tomorrow, one of two things will happen. One, I'll be overly enthusiastic and sick. Two, I'll be over enthusiastic and maybe not sick. Or three, I will lose my voice because I do that all the time when I do these live streams. Alright, question 6. I think people are people still doing this one. I don't have timestamps, so I can't really check. Probably should do this on RSC. But let's go over 6 right now. There is one. Question 11 is a turtle problem. That's all I can tell you. I think it's part A and B. So one is just the function, the second one's calling it. So, yes. Def test return. When you hit a function definition, it just puts it into memory, and it doesn't actually go through the function. So you actually go 1, 4, because it's line 4. So let's go to line 4. You have a variable definition, a variable definition, and it's set equal to test return, which is that function called earlier. And we're passing these two parameters. So int 1 is now 2, and thing 1 is a. For I in range int 1, so we're going 2 times, and we're going to return thing 1. So this is actually going to run once, because once you hit return the first time, it just returns. So return thing 1, therefore it should just be A. It returns once, therefore the answer should be E. Any questions on that? I think it's a bit confusing, because sometimes like, oh, let's return more than one thing. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. We wish things work that way, but it doesn't work that way. So, yes. Question 7. Yeah, this will be on the exam in some incarnation as well. So, yeah. Remember, there is a delay on Twitch, and some people may be delayed way more than other people. So if you see people answering the next question and you're not there, then you probably got the short end of the stick, unfortunately. Like, I have my stream up, and I'm on question 5. But right now, I'm on question 7. So, maybe if you refresh your stream, you'll be much better off. Maybe? Who knows? Huh, yeah, that's what I thought. Some people are stuck on question 5. That's why I don't like Twitch. NJIT does have a thing for, shoot, what's it called? WebEx, which is a meeting thing. And that would work so much better, but guess what? Students can't create meetings. It sucks a lot. And I wish they could. It'd be really helpful, actually. I honestly think it would. And maybe I'll bring that up to Dr. Cohen if he can arrange for students to create these WebEx things. It'd be really useful. Because I'm able to share screens. Like, you can share your screens. We can share each other's screens, as long as no one, like, brings up, like, absurd stuff. Then we'll all be happy. And then I can just, like, do other stuff. That's what I thought. Refreshing doesn't necessarily work. So the screen's stuck at 5, but my voice is on another question? That's really weird. Because some people are on the question. That's really weird. I do not know why it's doing that. Um, Let me refresh. Maybe it helps. Huh. Interesting. So I really, really not want this to mess up. Because that'll be really inconvenient. I really don't want to do any extra random stuff I don't need to do. And I hate advertisements with a burning passion. Anyway, question 7. If you are following along, just open the website and go to question 7 on the second practice exam. Wishes were fish. It's the same thing as... Actually, it's not the same thing. It's very similar to the one on the practice exam that you had for homework. So you have true and true. If true, then beggars would eat. Therefore, it's just A, because you never hit any of the other if statements, because the first one goes through. So the answer is indeed A. It just prints that. It doesn't go through anything else. Now I just see a black screen. That sucks. Never mind. I see a not black screen. So the answer is A for question 7. All right. Let's go to 8. Oh yeah, you're gonna see some weird cultural references. That's what whatchamacallit, Dr. Cohen does a lot. Alright, now question 8. Let's kind of trace through this. You can do it mentally, you can write it down, you can write on your exam, you can burn your exam after your exam because you take your exam home. So question 8, bogey, I don't know. I don't read anything. Is a list containing several strings. The first one for whatever. Oh yeah, because there's a quote there. Never mind. Short is an empty list for word in the first list for if the length is less than or equal to 3. So if it's 3 or less, you append that word to short. So we look at everything that is 3 or less. Therefore, the answer should be C. If you got C, then give yourself a pat on the back because you got there. Number 9 is very simple. We're going to do that really quickly. So, yeah. Alright, question 9. Fairly simple. We have print 0. 0 doesn't exist. So we already ended at line 1. Whoops, daisers. With D. So the answer is just D. 0 is not defined. You cannot call a function before it's defined. Python reads top down, unlike most other languages, which read the whole entire thing and then run the main method. So the answer is D. And let's do sir 11. Yeah, 11's a programming question. So let's go to question 10, and then we'll go on from there. Just to ease your minds, when we do the exams, we do grade it the night of the exam, which means you will most likely get your exam by the next day, and most of you are in my class, the Tuesday morning class. There's the most likely you'll be able to get it that day, the next day. Well, it depends if we get it in the system by then. We do grade the exams, but you probably won't keep it then. Also, when you do practice exams, generally, you could ask me for an answer key, or you can just copy and paste it into idle or the Python shell or any Python IDE. I use Sublime and then run scripts from there to get it to run. It works the same way. I know copying and pasting from PDF is horrendous, for lack of a better term. The answer for number 10, by the way, is D. So you print here, and then you print the result of this function, which it just prints out the parameters. So it's here, new line there. So it should be B. Are we all on the same page? Okie dokie. So, how would I want to do this? Alright, so I'm going to... Okay. If Python cooperated, it'd be great. So, it's the part A and part B. Let's focus on part A of this. So let me get my handy dandy tablet and let's draw stuff. I'm going to draw in blue because blue is a cool color. Alright, so programming 11. Programming 11 is bound to be a a turtle problem, and therefore you should just be aware of that. Prepare yourself for turtle. The main functions you're going to need is I meant B. You want to know pen up, pen down, or T dot up, T dot down. For the T, I usually mean the turtle. You can do whatever you want to call it. You want to know up and down. You want to know forward, backward. You don't necessarily need backward unless you know left and right 180 will make you go backward. And that is that. Yeah. I'm just going back to the chat. I apologize. Alright, so let's do this. Write a function named parallel lines. So what I want to do here is I want to number off all the systems. This is the way I do it. And it's probably one of the preferred ways to do it. It's not necessarily what they say. Write a function. The number 1 is to write the function. Number 2 is to use these 3 parameters. So I didn't know what I drew there. Oh wow, it detects that I had an eraser. Cool, digitizer for the win. Function parallel lines should use a turtle T to draw the lines specified by that. So draw lines, that's 3. The spacing between the parallel lines should be 25, so I want to mark that as 4. And you should not make any assumption on the state of the pen. That is 5, but this pretty much means don't forget T dot down. When they give you an example, just ignore the example. It's if you want to pretend you were running it. So just ignore the example, because I see a lot of people who just go in and they just do whatever. So I want to make my checklist. So on the paper, write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How the programming works is what you'll get is you'll get a bunch of lined paper. It's conveniently there's funny lines over here. You're gonna get lined paper, like so. I can't draw straight lines for my life, especially when I'm sick and I'm drawing on a drawing tablet. That is on my lap and not on the desk. There'll be lines that go this way, and it's gonna. Wow, I can't draw straight lines for my life. You're gonna get these straight lines over here, and so what you're gonna do with these straight lines, I think you only get 4. I may be wrong. You're gonna start writing your code. I'm gonna write this in black because it makes more sense. So let's start with number 1. You do def parallel lines. If you took this course previously, you should know what it means. You're just going to write through the things. Yeah, if he says you should not make any assumptions about the state of the pen, assume that it is any color but white and that you can go down. Or it may be up. Consider that. Actually, don't consider the color. Assume if you're going to draw, you have to put T dot down, so it makes sure it's down. If your system's lagging, make sure you're on a computer. And it happens to me too. That's what I thought. It's not drawing, is it? Funny. And I have dropped frames. That's annoying. Alright. I think we have to do other stuff. Give me 1 moment while I get pen and paper. I would. I just dropped my microphone, my $300 microphone. Or lapel mic. Fail. Yeah. Alright, let's get this sorted out. You're going to hear a lot of static. I apologize for that in advance. I want to do some evasive action here, and I'm going to just, first of all, not draw on my screen. Where's Notepad? Alright, so you can see me, and hopefully you can see my screen. Or actually, you're not going to be able to see my screen. I don't have my black marker, that sucks. Alright, so we're going to do this. I have this handy dandy. I'm dropping this microphone every 10 seconds. Dang it. If you refresh it, you might... the screen freezes every once in a while, which is weird. Alright, so what you're going to do, you're going to have lines go across your page. This is how it's going to be on your exam. And then you're going to have these columns. What you're expected to do is just write through the columns. So the first thing it says is to write a function in parallel lines. So my checklist I usually write off of the side. So I do def parallel lines, and we want our 3 parameters is T, num lines. I'm actually going to write this out in idle, but I'm just going to show you how it looks like on the paper when you do it. Line length. So what it's going to look... Oh, shit, I just wrote myself. Okay, so what it's going to look like is this. You're going to see like these columns. You're just going to write through it. And every time you want to indent, you just write it on the next line. So the next line is going to be T dot down. The purpose of the lines is so that you do indent. So hopefully you can see see that. I should really make the webcam bigger, but I'm not going to. Too much effort. So you just kind of write through the lines. It's to help you with indentation. Make sense? Alright. I hope you guys can just open it on your screen and assume that it, we're working on the same question. We're on practice exam number 2, and we are on question 11A. So I'm going to put my tablet over there, and let's open up IDLE. And let's open up a new screen. And add CAPTCHA, just this. Oh yeah, shoot. Oh, I forgot about that. Let me delete that. And screen capture this thing. And let me put that over there. Alright, so let's do this. I know the screen's freezing. I apologize. If it keeps freezing, just refresh the page. I don't know why it's freezing. It shouldn't freeze. You pay good money to make sure it doesn't freeze. Okay, so we want to create a function in parallel lines. So let's do that. Def parallel lines. And you have 3 parameters. It says it passes it. That's my number 2. And so yeah. The annoying thing about refreshing is that it plays an ad because I didn't pay for the thing. That's why I wish you had WebEx. Alright. If you remember what I marked as number 2, it's that you should, remember we should use the last one, t.down. I usually recommend you do this on scrap paper. You do get scrap paper on the back. So write it there because it told you to not concern the state of the pen, and that's kind of the first thing you have to do. So you kind of missed a line if you did miss a line. So you want to draw parallel lines. Well, first things first is, do you know how to draw a normal line? Just forward the line length. So we know we have that line. You can't just add lines indiscriminately in paper, but you can in the program or on a computer. So it is line length. So over here, you're going to repeat that several times. So we know we're going to do it for I in range num lines, because you want to repeat it that many times. And then we're going to go forward the line length. Now it says that your lines should be that. There's 2 ways to approach this, really. As long as it does the intended output, you're fine to do whatever method you want to do. One method is to just go back, so you go to t.bk or backwards line length, so you're back in the starting point. And t.up to ensure that doesn't draw. T.right 90 degrees. T.fd 25. And then t.left 90. Another place you could put t.down is you can actually put t.down inside the for loop. That's not evil at all. And that should work. Let's see if it works. It tells you if your line, if you do it. Okay, import turtle. Nope, that's not what I want to do. And then if I do parallel lines. If your screen's black, refresh. I apologize. Turtle num lines. It said there are 5 and it's of like 100. Let's run the code, see what we do. Just 100 practice. I typed it with a capital P. P2Q11A. Let's run this now. How can I run it? Oh, look, it worked. Alright, so this did work. Okay, so we have this part. The t.down is to ensure that we are drawing in case the turtle is up. T.fd is there, so we go forward. That's the line. Backward is so we go back to the starting point. The reason you want to do that is so we can go down. So you do t.up to bring the pen up and not draw. t dot right 90, so it's now pointing downward. So now you're going down, or it's facing down. T dot fd 25. It tells you that the spacing is 25. So this space is 25, and I hope you can see my mouse, right? You can see my mouse. T dot left 90 is to ensure we're now in the proper drawing position, and then you rinse and repeat. This function does not return anything. I wish I can draw on my screen. I mean, I can take this marker and like draw on my screen. You're not going to see anything. And this stupid Twitch thing keeps freezing. I don't want that to happen. It's annoying. So if your turtle, backward. If your turtle is pointing in a certain direction, backward goes in reverse of where the turtle is pointing. So, yeah. Why is it 425? It tells you that the space between the lines should be 25. That's what it says in the problem. Oh yeah, I should tell you what part B is. Part B is to call parallel lines using the parameters as an example. So, technically I did part B without even knowing it. Part B. Also, if you didn't know that it had to be 25, you didn't read instructions. Read the instructions! It will ensure you get 20 points on here. 20 points is important. So there's 12 points here. How I would distribute it is 4, 4, and this is 1, 2, and I guess is 1. I don't know. It's probably how I distribute it. So they tell you the line should be the line length and the space in between the lines is 25. That's what it said in the problem. Read the problem. It's important. Yeah. Okay. Are we good with number 11? I'm going to leave it up for a bit longer. It's 4:30 to 5:45, the exam. So you have an hour and 15 minutes. That should be plenty of time to go through each of the problems. You should be able to go through each problem maybe 3 minutes each. So 3 by 10 is 30 minutes. So 30 minutes on that, and then the other 45 minutes is dedicated to your programming. That's 15 minutes per programming assignment. I like Twitch chat. They're being useful. What else do I want to say? You do get the cheat sheet, but remember, it doesn't tell you necessarily. It doesn't actually tell you any of the turtle problems or turtle methods. If we use a turtle method that you're not normally familiar with, like circle, we do write that out. But you should know forward, backward, up, down, left, right. When you're doing programming, you have to consider the computer's awfully stupid, and you have to write every individual thing out. In normal conversations with humans, you could usually assume a lot of different things. With computers, that's not the case. It's a totally different mindset. The reason why the t dot forward, the first one, is line length is because it tells you to draw a line. So the forward and backward is to draw that one line. The second forward is to draw the space. I would like to demonstrate how that works. So I think I can demonstrate that. Please look at the screen if you have this question. T equals turtle dot turtle and then t dot speed 1. I think that makes it slow enough. Well, I don't know if that's the default speed. So let me put my t over here, and let's run it. Alright, hold on. So, notice that the turtle, oh, you can't see it. Okay, look at the screen. So, you have def parallel lines, and then you have your parameters. The parameters I put was t, 5, and 100. So what it does is it goes t dot down and draws the line, then it goes forward and backwards. So you can see that it goes forward and backward. Now it's going to be, I had it go up. You can't really see it that it's up or down from looking at the turtle. Now it's going to turn right 90, right? So watch it turn 90, then forward 25. Now it's going to turn left 90. So you see that, and that's going to do the same process there. So forward and backward line length. So going forward and backward line length. It's going to go up afterwards, but you can't really see that on the screen. Then turn right 90, and then forward 25. That's the space in between each line. And then you're going to watch it turn left 90 again, and do the same process. If you add you could add a parameter to turtle to change its shape. So this is what happens when you put turtle in there. All right, I think I'm spending way too much time on this. Let's go to question 12. Let you guys read it for a bit, and then we'll go on from there. I am using way too much RAM with all the Chrome tabs that are open. I have at least like 50 million of them. So let me close all of these. Alright, so question 12. I'll let you read it, and then go on from there. Alright, let's see if this pen thing works this time. So, yeah. Edit, my program's not. Epic Pen. Alright, put that over here. Anyway, do this pen. Alrighty dokey. So, write a function that name contains letter. Wow, that was horribly not straight. Number 1 identifies all the strings in a list that contains specified letters. So I'll put as my number 2. Returns that list. That's number 3. Number 4 is that it takes these 2 parameters. Alright? Makes sense? Hopefully it does. So 4 steps. Not too bad. Some steps will take more sub-steps, but it should be fairly easy. Alright, let me erase here. Alright. And let's go down to the writing of this program. Let's make a new window. So, it's called contains letters, so contains letters. If you don't know how to do the program, my phone's on, right? If you don't know how to do a program, at least do the definition line. That's at least 3 points most of the time. So if you know that, you are golden. You have at least 3 points. It contains 2 parameters, a letter, and str list. This is right here. This is approximately like 5 points already. If you don't know how to do it, you at least got a quarter of the points if you just wrote the definition line. You know that returns a list? Return a list. If you don't know how the problem works, you return a list. You returns a list of words. You did something related to the problem. So, yeah. If, like, for whatever reason you got really lost on, like, the last problem, for whatever reason, just write stuff. Okay, don't write just random stuff. Write code that you know is supposed to do part of the problem, and you get partial credit. Because, yeah. I think the first common exam is worth less points than the second one, or I might be wrong, but whatever. If you know what you're doing for the first exam, and you can at least manage a 50, you can still get a B in the course, which is always nice. What did I say was number 2? And it finds a list that contains a specified letter. Alright, so if it contains a letter. Why is it so laggy? This is what happens when you have 50 million tabs open and you only have 16 gigabytes of RAM. Alright. So you know we're going to return a list. So let's create our list. Let's do it called return list. Return list is equal to an empty list. That's where we're going to add all our stuff later. And then at the end you can just do return list. Return the return. Can't type. Return the return list. Like, if you didn't know how to do the problem, at least doing this, you probably got around 6-7 points. Because I think this is 4 points, this is 1 point, this is like 3 points. That's 8 points, and there's 4 more left. The last 4 points is the logic of the filling up that list. No, this is part A and part B. So, yeah. Now let's go through each word, because we need to identify all the strings that contain that letter, so we need to go through the entire list. So, for word in str list. And it tells you if it contains that letter, then just go through it. So if I'm going to do if a letter in word. If that's the case, then return list. Does it say you can return duplicates? I don't think it told you to. Return not append. Word. And that's it. So part 1 was doing that, was creating definition. Part 5 was the parameters. Part 2 was returning a return list, and part 3 was, I think I said 5, I meant 4. So this was 4 to do the entire logic. So make your little checklist. It helps a lot. Helps a lot. Oh my gosh, this is so laggy. So Amazon, you're streaming, you have 50 million tabs, and you're doing 30 million things at the same exact time. And you should not be on eBay at the same time. It's horrible. Alright. I'll let that sink in for a bit. Yeah, I don't know why it's freezing, because my stream is still on Chrome 11. Which is annoying. I think it's doing some weird compression thing, and if it doesn't notice dramatic color changes, it just doesn't do anything. This is really annoying. Maybe if I, like, flashed a random picture or something. Maybe if I did this. Let's see if the switching scenes changes it. Yeah, it just freezes. I have no idea why. Twitch sucks. I don't know why. I apologize. Maybe I should have done Google Hangouts this time. We know for next time I'll use Google Hangouts. Last time I did this, Twitch was better than Google Hangouts, but maybe Google Hangouts is better now. Who knows? Anyone need an explanation on question 12A? And 12B is just to run it. Write code that contain... What? Write code that calls contain letter for each letter in Hulk. Each function call should. Okay. Alright, that's not too bad. So this one's fairly simple. You just first define it, it's really easy. I'm going to do H equals Hulk. And then for L in H, so for each letter in Hulk, you probably omit this line. You could probably just do it all in one line. It's easier. It might be easier that way for you guys. I have a black screen on mine. I give up. For L in Hulk, print out the contains letter. You do need to define the thing. Shoot. I could probably just copy and paste it. You won't be able to do that on paper. Contains letter L and Hulk line. That's really annoying. I do apologize. L Hulk line, and that should do it. If for whatever reason your for loop is for I in range 1, you're not going to get full credit for that loop. Just because that's not a loop. It is, but it isn't. Man, that's laggy. But my main desktop's an NJIT, and the NJIT internet's not always the greatest on Sunday night because everyone's doing homework. I'll leave you guys to let this sink in. If you have any questions, please post it in Twitch chat. I'm gonna make my own program to do live streams. Here's the funny thing, it's sending 2.4 megabits out. Not to be confused with megabytes. This is less than a megabyte. It's approximately 1 megabyte per second, which should not be enough to do the stream. Contains letter. For part A, they want you to pass in 2 parameters, a letter, or single character string, and a list of strings. Yeah, you can watch it later. I'll probably upload it to my website so you can download it and watch it yourself. Or I might upload it to YouTube. That might be easier. And I'll post it. If you're not in my class, well, email me. And if you're in my class, I'll post it on Moodle later. Because my computer records this as well. So, yeah. So let me run this just to make sure it works. PQ11, PQ12A. 12, let's run it. This should be, yeah, it should be the same as there. What? Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's an accurate output. That should have added when, because H is in when. Yeah, H is in when. I don't know why that one's empty. That must have been an error when we wrote the exam the first time. Okay, let me explain this again. You have a function that passes in 2 parameters, one with a single character string, which is a letter, and a list of words. It tells you want to return a list containing all the words that contain that letter, so I wanted to create my list that I'm going to return later. So I'm going to have it there. You have to iterate through the list to check if that letter is contained into each is in that word. So if it tells you to go through a list, or it tells you return something where all the words in that list or that do something, you know there's a for loop and you want to go through that list. So for whatever in that list, yeah. Then you do that logic, add it to the list, return the list. The other one was fairly straightforward. It tells you to use the example, pretty much. If there is a spelling error, not a spelling error, if there is an error in the output, and you notice it, please let us know so we can let all the other sections know, or the other rooms know. We don't try to trick you in that aspect. We just make errors. The exam gets made the day before the exam, or yeah, pretty much the day before the exam, to avoid it being leaked. So, yeah. Or to prevent professors who read the exam to tell their students what's on the exam, or leave too many hints. So, yeah, that's what happens. All right. Will a test have a problem like this? Probably. Probably of this caliber. This isn't horrendously hard. I've only skimmed through the exam. I didn't really go through it that thoroughly. Unfortunately, I'm not grading the exam. I enjoy grading it more than I enjoy proctoring it. And the reason for that is because you get free dinner. And I'll get free dinner this time. Sad face. Alright, let's go to question 13. I think it's mostly it should be 11 part A in B, and then 12 and 13 should be one question. But who knows, I might be wrong. This one's fairly easy. Usually 13 is easier than 12 for whatever reason, and 11 is just bipolar. Depending on what they want you to draw. Let's draw a staircase, let's draw circles, let's draw teardrops, let's draw cars. Yeah. So I'll let you read 13, and then I'll draw in my little checklist, and then we'll go from there. Alright. I hope I didn't just turn off my recording. Nope, I did not. Alright, so let me draw in the steps for this problem. I did not mean to open that window. Where is it? Alright. Write a function named getInt. GetInt takes two parameters. So, Let's write our function. This is number 1. This is number 2. Prompt the user for an integer. Okay, let's do this. This prompt the user for an integer is part 3. Make sure that integer is that. This is 5. Okay. Makes sense. All right. So we're going to write a function using 2 parameters, min and max, that takes in user input. The user is asked for an integer that is within the range min to max, min int to max int. Is it included? Is it inclusive? Okay, so it's inclusive. Min and max inclusive. The trick here that they're saying is user input's always a string, so you have to cast from an int to, or from a string to an integer. What does that mean? That means, user input's always a string. And to do it as an int, you have to put it into a method called int. So let's do this. I am feeling really under the weather today. It sucks. Alright. Put this over here. Put this into a new thing. Alright. Def get int. We want to return an integer. Min int, max int. 4 points. Yay. Or 3 points in this case. Yay. There. Your 3 points. If you got all the multiple choices correct, and you wrote 3 function headers, or 4, 3 or 4 function headers, depending on how many function headers are, you got a 50. Congratulations. You got a bare minimum to get a B in the course. So actually, you might still be able to get. Can you get it? You could get an A if you get perfect grades on everything else. Aim for as many points as you can get, and you still get partial credit. And so pretty much, if you get the function header and you write other stuff, you got more than 5 points for each question. Take advantage of that, because just do it. Okay? Good. Promise me you'll all pass, right? With at least 50 or higher. I dropped the microphone again. Alright. So we did that. Okay, if there's any weird streaming issues, it's probably because I'm doing this on a Sunday and there's a lot of network congestion in NJIT. Because I'm on campus. It sucks. Oh shoot, actually I'm not. My internet's actually routed to my house. That might be it. I should test this next time. We're gonna do random streaming before this. Prompt the user for an integer. So let's get user input. So user input is equal to input. Input a number between min-int and max-int. And then just for convenience, I'm going to do the good old that and that. Passing. Oh, isn't passing in information? Means you're putting it into the function. And remember when I use passing. So if you're passing in something into the function, you're putting it as an argument as the parameter. So when I call get int, I'm going to be passing in min int, passing in max int. When you call it, you pass in the values. That's what I meant to say. That's probably what I meant to say. I don't remember what I meant to say earlier. We got a user input. Let's get our user int. Our user int is equal to user int user input. Did we have to do a check? I'm pretty sure you have to do a check, because that would make no sense if you didn't have to do a check. technically you don't have to do the check. Because I didn't say to do the check, but you return the user int. But you should probably tell the user... oh, passing? Oh, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, passing the exam. You pass the exam. You pass this course if you get at least 55. That's okay. You pass the course in general if you get around a 55 on the final exam. That's the minimum for a D. I believe a C is a 67 or something like that. So you can pass. My consideration for passing the first exam is 55. I would say you did the bare minimum to still pass with a B. If you're a CS major, you have to pass with a B, if I'm not mistaken. If you're an IT or IS, you have to pass with a C. That's what I meant to say. I haven't been under the weather like I said before, so I don't remember what I'm saying earlier. You may want to do the check if user int is within. If user int is min int less than or equal to, and then less than or equal to max int, then you want to return it. Otherwise, you might want to tell the user. It didn't say to do the check. That's the funny thing. I wonder if the check was in the second part. Because it didn't say there was a check. Alright, another error in this one. It says write code that calls get number meant write code that calls get int using a negative value for min int and a positive value for max int. Okay. Now remember that this get int returned a number. This one is for this one. So that calls get number. Yeah, this is printed. This is printing. Right. I forgot about that. You need to cast the integers. See, that was not a 12. That was it 10 points. That was not a 10-point answer. That was like an 8-point answer. Congratulations. You bested Jan. Congratulations. Sometimes when we grade the exam, I'm like always throw the idea maybe we us proctors should take the exam to see how well we do. Because I bet you not all of us will give them 100. Maybe I will, but not everyone else because they're all tired. All right, so let's do that one. Let's do part B. Now, part B was do num equals get int, and I'm just picking an arbitrary negative. If num is less than 0, then print 0 negative. Oops. And L if num is greater than 0, then it's positive. Can't spell positive, and then else 0. This is the only case that exists. If it's not positive, it's not negative, it's 0. Correct, you can't add an int in a string. That was a multiple choice. So you need to cast into a string. The easier way to do that is to do input without the parameters, or input without the parameter, and you just do a print before so. So that's probably what I would do. Want to help shorten the line. So normally what I would do is I would do the print statement here, and then I would do parentheses, or not parentheses, commas. See, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's normally how I would do it. See, you can see everything on one line. Does it make sense to everyone? Hopefully it does. Okay, I'm gonna leave the next 5 minutes for you guys to ask questions and do whatever. And I guess that'll be considered a break. And then I guess I'll just go over concepts for the rest of the night, unless you guys want to go over another exam. Alright, let's explain it one more time. The function told you to write a function passing in two parameters, min_int and max_int. The function requests the user to input a number, and it prompts the user to put the number between min_int and max_int inclusive. There was no check, so I didn't tell you to do anything if the number was not technically inside there. So technically, after user int equals int user input, you could just return it and then argue that we did not tell you to check for the number. So how the logic works. I told you to write a function that gives two parameters. We did that right here. Def get int, min_int and max_int. And the next two lines, you saw that I did put the prompt inside of the input. You don't have to. Technically, that's what it does. It does a print before so. I did it so it keeps it all in one line and keeps it within the box that is being streamed right now. User input is equal to input. Input always returns a string. So we need to turn that string into an integer. So that's where you see user int is equal to int user input. I said input, didn't I? Input. And there is that. I should probably run this just to show you guys that it does work. What? CS100 track, and this is 13. Let's run it. On 100, I'll put 15. That's positive, so it does work. Part B is told you just pretty much return and use the get int to get a number, and then check if it's print if it's negative, positive, or 0. Remember to do your checklist and stuff. Yeah, I don't know if I can be able to stream for more than 2 hours, guys, because print after the def. It's because it's to use to prompt the user. You're telling the user to input something. If you just left it blank and you just assume the user knows what they have to put, then that's bad practice. You want to tell the user that they want to input a number. So normally what you would do is you would see this inside of here, or you would see with plus signs in there. It's one of those things that's easier to do than to explain. That's usually how it is at programming, but I try to explain as best I can. So the print there is to tell the user what to do, because input allows you to type a number. So if I didn't have that print statement there, when I run the code, this would just be blank, which is annoying. So you have to assume the user knows what to write. Yeah, I know. So I put the hashtag here. It's just kind of waiting for the user input, but what if the user doesn't know what to put? What if I put like hello? Then we're going to have a problem. It tells the user what to do. It tells you you have to assume the user doesn't know what they're doing. They respond with a number after you tell them to put a number. That's why. You can put it inside input. I did it earlier. So I could do input a number between there and there. I just did it for the sake of putting on one line. It's the same process. You can do whatever you want. What about the input? Don't you have to make an equal statement? I did. It's over here. Equals over here. So an assignment. Any other questions? Any other questions about Python in general, or the exam? Or this question, or the previous question, or the 30 questions before that? Makes sense? Yeah, you can put it on a separate line. Print's easier because you don't have to cast these strings. So if I did the print statement, I technically don't need the str because print does that automatically. All right. So pretty much if you had a grasp of being able to trace through your code and do that little thought process, write your little checklist, and make sure you do everything correctly on your programming, you're on a way to at least getting a C, which is great. It depends on the problem. You have to see what the problem asks you to do. You have to follow directions exactly as they say. So, I don't know. You have to see what the problem asks for that one. I don't know if I can't tell you. I can't tell you what the problem is. I have read what question 11 was on the exam. I can't tell you. So, be prepared for anything. Your programming is mostly problem solving. You should know the syntax. We have you a cheat sheet. We give you a cheat sheet that tells you what the syntax is for most of the things. It's just you memorizing and doing problem solving. All right, question 8. Why is it so laggy? All right. Where's my tablet so I can draw? All right, first line is creation of a list. Second line, it tells you to create it creates a new list. So there's that. So what the third line does, it's going to iterate over the list in the first line. Check any word that's less than or equal to 3. So any 0, 1, 2, or 3 characters. You can't have negative length of a character. And adds it to short. So the only words, so this one's 6, so that's not in there. Wow, that was a really long line. This one is 4, 7, that's not it. This one's going to be in there, and this one's going to be in there, and so is this one. Therefore, you have to look for these 3 words in a list. Therefore, the answer is, I can't draw straight lines. Ha ha ha. 3. Or C. Append word. There's no way you can get word in the list because there is no list word. There's no string word. If inside for loop, you can't have it. So the answers could really be C or E. If you didn't really know how to do the program, and you can narrow it down by crossing out the other problems, you probably get the answer there. Practice 4 number 13. Isn't practice 4 number 13 a what should we call it, a file I/O problem. If it is a file I/O problem, then you don't have to worry about that. Oh yeah, that's why tablet's overriding that. Oh, 13 was this is the same thing as the previous one, as the one I went over earlier. Question 11, except you're just drawing a circle. So instead of T dot forward lines up, or instead of going forward and then going right down, you just have to what should I call it? You just draw a circle and you go forward. So write a function named droplets that uses turtle graphics to draw a series of droplets. There's a turtle method circle that draws a circle of specified radius. Alright, so the way I would mark this down is do this, write a function named droplets. This is 1. This is the logic. This is 2. All follow along a straight line. Starting point is separated there. This is 4. This is your parameters. The number of droplets drawn is 1 greater than the number of separations. That's true. Alright. So keep this in mind. This is 5, I guess. Does that use a digitizer? I just realized that. Oh, wow, it does. You can draw thicker lines if I go harder on the tablet. Wow. Okay, I drew random lines. Sorry, I got excited there. Oh, so this new update does use the digitizer. Look at that. Cool. Anyway. Got really excited there. Really shouldn't have. So let's do this problem, I guess. Maybe if I didn't just draw. There we go. Why is this black? That should not be black. Oh, there we go. Alright, so let's do this problem. Series of droplets. So write a function, def droplets. 3 parameters. T, size, separation. Separations. Remember, doesn't tell you anything about the up, down, or other state of the turtle, so remember the T dot down. Alright, so what are we going to do now? We have to iterate over, remember that the amount of droplets is 1 greater than the number of separations. This is at this point you actually have to draw the size. Size is the diameter. So you actually need the radius. So it says here that circle uses the radius. So I'm going to call this R. R is equal to diameter, or size, I'm sorry, divided by 2. We didn't really check for this, technically, because we made the error in grading, or we didn't check for that, but it should have been checked. I checked for it, other people didn't check for it. So remember, circle uses radius, so let's draw our first circle. The reason we do that is because it tells you that there is always 1 greater than the number of separations. So when we do the for loop, for loop only goes as many as there are. So T dot circle R. I did not write R. I wrote everything but R. Then we have to draw as many as their separations. Let's do S in separations. So T dot up, T dot FD, S, T dot down, T dot circle. I did do that right. R. And then that's it. No, that's pretty much it. Don't return anything. I think that hopefully that makes sense. Let me This is P4 413. And let's run it. So ignore the syntax that I wrote. I just realized I did the older version, or what we used to teach. Let's run it, see what we get. It works. Remember, there's 3 separations, therefore you're going to get 4 circles. Make sense? Is there any of the concepts you guys want to go over, or questions, on any of the exams? Except for the exam that's tomorrow. I'm not going to give you answers on that. There's a fair amount of you in here. I know you have questions. So we're going over, exam will include data types, your conditional statements, so if else, your for loop for I in range, or for I in collection, or for whatever in collection, function definitions, parameters, returns, prints, input, strings. Well, we did mention data types. No, not really string methods. Yeah, there might be. You'll have in your cheat sheet will tell you little string methods, so you don't have to worry too much about that. And the slicing. Slicing's on the exam. 14 on the same practice exam. Yeah. I don't think there's any of this. I don't think it's any. Let me. If it's of this caliber, then I'll go over it, because I don't really have the mental capacity to continue going that far right now, just because I'm not feeling well. So let me check what exactly the question is. Let's make sure it's not streaming, because I don't want to stream the actual exam to you guys. That'd be horrible. Okay, there's nothing of that caliber. Yeah, I guess. I guess it is kind of that caliber. You have to write the code on separate paper. So how it works, do I have a sheet of the answer? Do I have an answer key on me? Let me see if there's an exam answer key on me. Just so I can show you what it looks like and how you're going to write on the exam. Which I don't think I would, because I don't have any reason why I would have that in here. There goes my microphone. I don't know if I have it on me. Let's check. Nope, that's lots of scrap paper. More scrap paper. What is this? I'm gonna look for. Okay, that's not valid. Is this it? Did I find something? No, I did not. Screw me. Alright, I don't have an answer key on me. How it works is you're going to have a sheet with 1 through 10. The first sheet, name, section, date, time, student ID, if you can remember it. If you don't remember, it's fine. 1 through 10, A through E, just circle your answer. For 11, 12, and 13, you'll have a separate sheet of paper for each. Maybe you have a 2 for 11, because there's A and B. You'll do the lines as I said earlier. You have that thing where there's lines through it. You just draw through. We'll explain it when you take the exam. So that's how you write it. So you do write it on separate paper. You don't write on a computer. If you thought you could write on a computer, then Funny. Um, let's do this problem. We define letters A, I, O. Where is my thing? Hopefully you can still see the thing. If you define letters A, I, O, U as vowels, do not consider any letters vowel. Mostly vowels returns a list of words. Okay, this is too. It's not as complicated as this. So I'll go over it, but it's not as complicated. The next 12 is not as complicated as this. Define letters A, I, O, U. So let's define a function named mostly vowels, because you can just kind of do that off your own. Is there any parameters? Write a function in a body of text. Input S. So it tells you input is your parameter. That returns a list of words, so we'll call it return list, as I usually like to call it. So it's just a blank list, and later on you're going to just return list. And remember, on paper you can't just add lines randomly. There's a return list. Let's define our vowels, because we need to know, we define vowels as A, I, O, U, which means you're going to use A, I, O, U. And the best way to do that is do a string, because, yeah, letters. Write a function named mostly vowels, returns a list of words in the body. Half are vowels. Okay? So for word in S, and how do we check if it's more than vowels? So first you should know how many letters are in the word. So let count is going to equal the length of the word. And now we do a vowel count. So we'll call vowel count is equal to 0, and you have to do a vowel count. So how do we do that? For letter in vowels, I'm sorry. And then, let's do this. For letter in word. If letter in vowels, then vowel count is equal to e plus 1. And then you return, no, I'm sorry, you don't return. If the vowel count is greater than letter count divided by 2, because it's more than half, then append the word. The reason I skimmed through this really quickly is because you're not gonna see this problem or a problem of this caliber on the exam. You're not gonna see it on the first exam. You might see it on the second exam. We didn't have that much time because there was a lot of snow days and whatnot, so we didn't think you were ready to do a problem this hard. But it's mostly problem solving. So how to check if a word is mostly vowels? You have to count how many vowels there are, and is it more than half of the amount of letters in there? So that's this logic over here. If it is, you add it to that list that we added earlier. And to count for vowels, there isn't just count vowels. You can just count each individual vowel, and that would kind of speed this up, but there's that. Then you return list afterwards. For this question, it was 20 points, so the definition of the function was about 4 points. Give you the whole thing correctly. Now, the person who asked to go over return statements and functions, is it writing it or reading it? So is it the programming that you have to write and return? Is that the problem you're having? Or is it that you don't know how to read the function or how return works? I can go either or, but I can't just go over that altogether. That's like a whole day's worth of just talking. Because programming pretty much revolves around return function creation and returning. Everything you do in programming is writing functions. There isn't just writing statements. You're always writing a function. Java, C++, C, everything, that's all functions. So, yeah. I'm going to take a break for 4 minutes. Write all your questions now, so I can go over it when I get back. Because I need some water because I'm like drying out really quickly. Alright, I apologize, the frames are dropping like crazy. I just lost like 200 frames. It's kind of annoying. Someone's asked to go over question 12 of practice 3. Write a function name outside that tests whether a given number falls outside a specific range. The whatever, la 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 la. Alright. So let's do this. It's a very simple question. Let's get our handy dandy tablet to draw us our thing. I don't remember what it's called. Easy Pen, right? Easy Pen. I don't remember what it's called. Wow, I feel like an idiot right now. The pen thing? Epic Pen, that's what it was. I knew it was a 4-letter E word followed by the word pen. Alright, let's do this. Let's draw. Alright, write a function name outside. This is 1. This is 2. Test whether numbers fall outside a range. Whoops, that was whatever. Return true if there's a whatever. I don't know what the heck that was. 3. I just wrote 3 again. It's supposed to be 4. You could tell I'm really sick because I don't know what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about is legit questions and whatnot, so believe me. So yay. So write a function named outside. Well, let's see if we're back. Are we back? We're back. So write a function name outside. Put 3 parameters. That's number 2. Test whether a number falls outside a specific range. La 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 la. So this is the test. Test if the number is inside the range. If it's inside the range, that is the opposite case that we want. So it's false, otherwise return true. You can circumvent and do everything all in one line if you do the definition and then you write that statement as that. Because remember, the statement is, this is a Boolean statement. You just get the reverse of it, which is not. So if I did print outside, I think it was 1. It was 417. Let's see if this works. This is P312. Welcome back, everyone, by the way. Let's run it. It should return false, right? And let's get a put. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's right. And if I put 0, this should return true. When you write a function twice, it gets the second one, by the way. Just so you know. So that was it really quickly. It's a very simple statement, and you can do it all in one line if you really wanted to. I really don't want to go over this one because this is from fall 2012. This is the exam I took when I was in CS100. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was one semester before. Wow, funny. Time flies. Write a function named steps that draws a staircase. Each of the steps of the staircase contains a vertical line and a horizontal line of the same length. Well, that's easy. So let's do that. So wants to create a function, create def steps. Wants 3 parameters. Let's throw in a turtle. We call it t, step size, and num steps. All right. Do we sound happy at the moment? Let's go. Remember, don't assume the state of the pen. It says which one for which question. When you tell me if we're responding to something, remember there's a delay. So please tell me what question you're referring to. Wearing that. So we'll go back to that one depending on what you were talking about. Key that down. We're going to create steps. It goes up a vertical line and a horizontal line of the same length. So we're going to do t dot. We're going to assume that we're creating the t here. So t dot left 90. t dot fd. Oh, I'm sorry, what am I doing? This is a for loop. For num step, for I in range num steps, colon, t dot left 90, t dot forward, your step size, t dot right 90, t dot fd step size. Right? Up, right, up, forward, right, forward. Right, that's right. That's it. That was actually really straightforward. That was the question weapon. It says, yeah, for the previous question, less than, it's less than, not less than or equal to. So it has to be outside the range completely, not inclusive. Any other questions? I gave you 5 practice exams. Any questions on any of them? Was told same practice, number 10. So, round 10. Wow. Wow, dead battery. Awesome. Okay, note to self, don't use a wireless microphone when doing a live stream like this. That is like the worst idea in existence. And I apologize for all you headphone users. You all just died. Funny thing, I don't remember where I put my batteries. Whatever, I could just yell really loud and you'll hear me. So, I think I'll just do that. Well, that sucks. I wasn't intending for that to happen. I apologize so much. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me find my batteries. Well, that sucks. This thing is better. Yeah. This microphone sounded better than just yelling into the other thing. Amazon Basics, you failed me. I'm sorry, you failed me so hard. I thought your battery would last much longer than that. What happens when you forget where your charger was? Alright, I apologize for all you headphone users. Hopefully your ears are still intact. But luckily, as computer developers, you don't necessarily need to hear anything. You just need to read everything. There we go. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go over number 10. When you hit a function definition, it just saves the function definition in memory with the parameter list. It doesn't actually go to the function. So now you send in 1 and 1. 1 is a string, which is actually isn't. It's actually an integer. And 1 is an int, so a string. So the number 1 is an str. Is there anyone that says 1 is an str? No, therefore the answer is E by default. Okay. That is question 10. Trick question because it was not accurate. Or the print statement wasn't accurate. I am so sorry for all you headphone users. I don't even know what you heard. But it's really funny because I'm going to upload this to YouTube. All the people are going to watch it and all their ears are going to break. Alright. You don't need to know question 9. We didn't go over the while loop. So don't worry about it. If you want to worry about it, the answer is C. But you don't need to know that. Right? No, the answer is D. I'm sorry. But you don't need to know what the while loop does. If you're just reading through this, the answer to this one is A. Echo's not defined. If you want to know the answer to this one, the answer to this one is B. You're passing in darn two, and then remember you find something with a space in it. A and B are not strings. It just passes in the parameter. Therefore it's D. Right answer to number 10. E. None of the above. Because there's not a single answer that says 1 is an the number character 1 is an str or it's a string. And in fact, it always says here 1 isn't anything that says isn't string. There's actually nothing that says isn't str. So technically the answer is E. If there's a spelling error or something like that, like if, say it did say 1 is a string, or yeah, maybe we'd take both answers. B is similar output, but does not print in that order. So the answer is E. Computer science is an exact science. If you screw up, it will not fix itself. Unless it's Internet Explorer. Then it will attempt to fix itself. And it will fail doing so. That's a sad thing, because everyone, if you rose your hands to say, use Internet Explorer, and I was like the only one who rose my hand, I feel so bad. Internet Explorer is not that bad. Like, Firefox uses a crud load of CPU utilization, and Chrome uses a ton of RAM utilization. And Internet Explorer uses both, but it's not as bad on either. the difference between if and elif. I want to do that really quickly because that's an important one. Is there an if elif over here? All right. If you do an if statement, you have a condition. If you do an elif statement, there is a condition. Else just catches everything else. So if there's a condition, if that's true, it goes through. If that condition does not go through, it checks for any of the elifs. So here's an elif or an else if. Elifs will also have a condition. If that condition does not go through, it will keep going for the next elif until it gets to the next. It gets to the else. Else does not have a condition, and it just always follows through. I hope I explained that fairly well. I wanted to go over that really quickly because I'm gonna pass out right now. Okay. If elif and else. So if elif else, if you have an if elif else statement, that is technically one statement with statements in between it. Practice number 2, number 10. Sorry, number 10. Echo param. The person who emailed me about why it tells you T is not defined, you didn't create a T. So make sure after import turtle, it's T equals turtle.turtle. You forgot that. What was I going to say? Practice number 10, I'm sorry. Def echo param, return param. So once, okay, you get here, it's just a function definition, we just save into memory. And if you print here, so you have to get the answer that says here, so A is immediately out of there. And then print echo there. This is a function call. What is there return? Returns param, and param was there. So it's here, here, enter there. So it's B. It only prints once. I don't know. This one's just random. Practice 2, number 7. You have true and true. If true, burgers would eat. That's it. It doesn't check. If there are 2 if statements in a row, they are both checked. If it's if and then an elif, if the if goes through, then you skip the elif. I hope that answers it. So if there's 2 if statements, yes, they both get checked. Unless it's an if inside of an if. If it's an if after an if, they both get checked. Or they both check. Practice 2, number 9. Print 0. 0 is not defined. It's D. That's what number 9 is, just 0 is not defined. You can't call a function before it's defined. For number 10 on the second exam, it returns there, but the function, that's just the function. It breaks out of the block. So if you have return, it breaks out of any indentation. Essentially. That's why. Answer for number 7, practice 2. Remember, there's a delay, so you're asking questions as I say it on the stream, but I'm actually saying it like I said it 10 minutes ago. So the answer was A. Burgers would eat. Throw more questions. Do it. I dare you. I'm still trying to work up my flight attendant speech, but if I'm too sick, I'm not going to do it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to CS100 Common Exam number 1. I would like to ask you that you keep your pencils, utensils, and your arms and other limbs in your seats. Please use the bathroom if you have to right now, because once you start the exam, you can, whatever. So on and so forth. Practice 2, number 10. I just did that. Number 10. It's here, there. It's B. More questions. Throw it. There's 6 practice exams, 5 that I put on the website, and 1 that was on Moodle already. For all of you people. So if a for statement goes like this, for I in range 6, return I. The return will end the loop. Yes, so it will stop at 0. But remember, that loop has to be inside of a function. If it's not inside a function, that loop doesn't actually go through. Because it would say to return, but you can't return off the global scope. Can you? Hold on. You're not supposed to be able to, because that makes no sense. Can I get these Python shell? You shouldn't be able to. Yeah, exactly. You can't have a return outside of a function. So yeah, if it was inside a function, yes, the return would break the loop. The important thing to know about programming is that it's a different mindset. You have to dictate everything you possibly can to the computer. So, yeah. It's a very exact. You can't make assumptions. You can't assume the computer knows what you want it to do. You have to be very, very, very exact. It's not Siri. It's not Google Now. It's not Cortana. But Cortana never worked in the first place, so don't worry about it. 11A. Parallel lines. Write a function in parallel lines. The function parallel lines takes 3 parameters. So I did that. We have our function parallel lines. It takes 3 parameters, t, num lines, and num line length, as we did there. I should use turtle t to draw the lines, specify parameters, num lines, and num length, or line length. So we draw num lines lines, and we go forward the line length. We go backward the line length, so we start at the beginning. Up. I'll go for that in a bit. You go up to prevent it from drawing the space. Right 90, forward 25, so we get that amount. Then we go left 90, so it resets. I'm leaving up here for a couple seconds, and then I'm going to go on to 213. It's windy out there. 213. Alright. Eval input. You don't need to do eval. Evaluation, what takes the Python code and it evaluates it. I use int to prevent it, to change it from string to an int. You don't need evaluate, you just need yeah, it doesn't make a difference. You could put the t dot up before or after the t dot back. It doesn't matter. It would give you an error if you did a index operation on an index that does not exist. So it would be an error. If you're asking me questions like, I don't mind if you ask me the question, but if you ask you a question, saying, if I did this, what happens? Well, maybe you should try it. I don't mind if you ask, because I'm going to tell you what it does anyway. Maybe it's faster if you just ask me anyway. But if you have any questions, I'm not able to answer it, or you're going to email me and you wait for a 2-hour response later, just try it yourself and see what happens. And see why it happens. Tomorrow I have class pretty much all day. So I have class from 11:30 until 4. I have my class from, oh shoot, that's right, 2:30 to, I have a 2:30 to 4 o'clock class, and that's in Kuprian, so most likely from 4 to 4:30, I'll be in Kuprian. All the rooms are in Kuprian, if I'm not mistaken. I should double check that, actually. They should all be in Kuprian. Let me just double check that they're all in Kuprian. They should all be in Kuprian. If it's not, then I'll let you know right now. Or you guys should have read it. Yeah, they're all in Kuprian. They're all on the... Okay, there's 2 on each floor. They're all the big rooms, if I'm not mistaken. So then we have Kuprian 117, 118, 210, 211. Do I have a class in 117? That's hilarious. If I'm in 117, I don't have to move. I could just sit there and be happy. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, it's super laggy. Should probably get rid of this one. Yeah. Throw the error. No, I was going to throw the errors. Throw the questions. More questions. I appreciate questions. People benefit from questions. Oh, sorry. Oh, tomorrow's going to be a long day. Oh, no, I have a 10 o'clock. I have a 10 o'clock until 4, and then I'll wait there from 4 to 4:30, and then I'm there for the exam from 4:30 to 5:45, and then I have to run all the way to my 6 o'clock class from 6 to 9. I'll be not eating from 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Holy crap, that's bad. That's 11 hours. You guys have any more questions? If I hear 10 minutes of silence, I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just going to end it. and then upload this to YouTube. Yes, I call it Tube. YouTube. Oh my goodness, this video is 1.2 gigabytes big. Luckily, I have hopefully enough space to accommodate that much. What did you do? Shout out to Twitch chat. If you have more space than me on your computer, then congrats. Quick rundown on slicing. Alright, I want to draw it. No, I don't. Alright, let me just a notepad actually. Alright, so slicing. If I had a string or a list or whatever, I'm going to call it S. S is equal to A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. Oh, wow. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Or Z, whatever you want to call it. Your slice, you use brackets, is the same as kind of the index operator. And then you, the simple one is just with a single colon. Before the colon, you put the beginning index. After the colon, you put the ending index. If you have one empty, if the beginning is empty, it starts from the beginning. If the end is empty, it's the end plus 1 because the end is usually exclusive. If you have a third parameter, that is, the third parameter is always the increment. That you can't leave blank. So what this would do is A through Z, pretty much. If I did 2 as your increment, it would be A through Z, skipping every other letter. If for whatever reason you felt like doing a negative letter, it would reverse the entire string, so this would be the end to the beginning, but it goes backwards. Remember that this number has to be greater than the second number if the number is negative. Otherwise, it won't print anything at all. And, yeah. That's pretty much slicing in a nutshell. Remember, if you're taking a slice of a string, you get a string. If you're taking a slice of a list, you get a list. Remember, if you're taking a slice of a list, and then the last element of the list is a list, you double the list brackets. There's more than one, because you have the one for the part of the object, and then you have the data type over it. If you guys don't do well, I'm going to eat all of you, because that is horrible. I went through all this effort. What happens in the middle number is bigger than the first number in slicing. If it can be bigger if this was a positive number. That's what it does. So if I went 1 to 20, that's B through V if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. B through U? Whatever. If the number is negative, or if the number is positive, so when I said 21 to 20 with one increment, it doesn't go backwards, it's an empty string. If this is negative, and then this number is bigger than the other one, then it's an empty string. If one number is bigger than the other one where it's not supposed to be, it's an empty string. Also, slicing is not index sensitive, so if you do a number that's greater than the amount, it just goes to the end. Okay, I don't think I'm doing a speech tomorrow because my voice is gone. So, probably what's going to happen, I'll post it back in the forum in my Moodle page, or my class. Where I'll probably be somewhere from 4 to 4:30 answering questions. I'll probably be downstairs. I'll be downstairs. I'll be downstairs in Cupfrian where the tables are. If you want to ask me any questions or any last minute thingies, then yeah. If you take a slice of a string, now if you take a slice of a string, it can be any arbitrary size of slice. It doesn't have to be one letter. That was just one index. If you do the index operation with no colons, then it would be a single letter. If you take a slice of a string, it can be as long as the string. It could be no letters. It could be 0 to the amount of letters in the string. If you take a slice of a string. Computer science takes a lot of practice. If you do not practice, you will most likely fail. That's not always the case, though. There are some people who can pass without failing. Well, that was a given. There's people who can pass without practicing. Z is not included. That's correct. The middle number is exclusive, or the end number, the end index is exclusive.
Oh,
I'm not overclocking right now? I totally thought I was overclocking right now, but I guess I'm not overclocking. Oh, that stinks. That's why my computer's slightly slower than I thought it was going to be. Sad face. Sad face. I'll be in Cupfrian, the bottom, the first floor, the basement, I guess, depending on what you perceive the first floor to be. The floor with the 100 rooms. So it's just the one, the third digit's a 1, or the first digit's a 1. The room with the tables. I'll be sitting somewhere, answering last minute questions. From maybe 4:10 to 4:20, and then from 4:20 to 4:30 is when I'll move to the exam room where I will be proctoring. I prefer you take a pencil, by the way, so you can erase your work, erase your mistakes, or you circle it and bubble it in. You don't have to cross it out. If you forget your utensil, well, I guess you're screwed unless you're in my room and you can ask me for a pencil and you make sure you give it back, or else I'm going to attack you. I was gonna say a tackle, but that doesn't sound like a word. I'm gonna brand new word, a tackle. Cupfrian. Cupfrian. Anybody else? I think I'm just going to take some NyQuil and pass out. Try to not make too much contact with me tomorrow. I've been feeling well all weekend. And then I did live stream for about 2.5 hours. Anyone have any last minute questions? I've been saying this for the past 2 hours. It's getting tiring now. I will do this live stream, I hope, for the second midterm and as well as the final. I am in the mood for cereal right now. I do not know why. Alright, those who are leaving, good luck to you guys. I hope you do a bit more practice before you wake up. Or, well, that's like telling you to dream about Python after you wake up or before you take the exam. So, yeah. Awesome. My pleasure. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I may email you a little back late from 4 to 4:30. You might just like get it right before the exam. Remember, if you have any questions and you want to like, what does this do? Just try it. Yeah. That makes the most sense. Alright, I guess I'm going to go cut the stream off now and post it onto YouTube. If you did, I don't recommend following me on Twitch because I do stream other stuff. So, yeah. See you all tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you all. I'll probably see you on the hallway somewhere tomorrow on the way to exam. Anyway, thanks guys for watching the stream, and I'll check you guys all out later. Bye.